I can't think right now, like... Hey, what's up everybody? This is VisitJoan, and welcome to a kind of a different video, I guess. No, the Christmas tree is not still up. I am recording this in advance. Now, one of the big issues last year with The Sims 4 happened to be the number of bugs and glitches and just things that made the game crash and break and all that other wonderful stuff that there were throughout the year. There was one where, you know, if you had a spellcaster and create a sim and you tried to leave while they were doing their animation, which, by the way, happens so often it was really annoying and I had to turn off my volume, it would cause the game to crash. There was another instance of a glitch where toddlers' needs were depleting at twice the normal rate, which was really actually annoying when I was trying to send Cassandra to university to the point where I actually had to stop because, well, I just couldn't juggle Alice's needs. Now, in these cases, the Sims team recognized the problem and actually came out with emergency patches to solve it. Thank goodness. But that didn't stop everybody from complaining about it. And I know, you have a right to complain about something like a computer glitch that breaks your game. But it's just the type of complaining I've been hearing, like, this glitch never should have happened. Why can't they get the fixes done faster? Why do these glitches even exist in the first place? And I don't mean to offend anybody, but you guys sound like you have never programmed a computer in your life. Probably because you haven't. So take it from someone who actually has a computer science degree and has spent countless hours staring at computer code in frustration that computer programming isn't easy. And the simple fact is, there's never not going to be a bug in the system. Glitches happen, it's really kind of unavoidable. And here's why. The first reason is that it is simply impossible to test every variant of every variable. And I know that, simple computer programs only have like 4 or 5 things. In a game such as The Sims, there are countless variables and countless combinations of those variables. And although you can control quite a bit when you test stuff, there's no way you can simply control them all, especially if any of it involves randomization, which is pretty much everything. Now, fun fact for you guys, computer-generated random numbers aren't actually random. They're determined by a bunch of calculations done on a starting value known as a seed. So if you have the exact same seed, you're going to get the exact same result. Now, to get around this, many computer programs use a seed that is determined on what time it happens to be when the randomizer is called. And by time, I mean the number of seconds that have passed since midnight in Greenwich, England on New Year's Day, 1970. For some reason. So needless to say, this number is constantly changing, and since we can't time travel, it's never going to be repeated. Unless we happen to call the randomizer multiple times in the same second, but you can get around that by converting to milliseconds or some other shorter interval of time. This is also why you hear about Pokemon players manipulating their game system clocks in order to obtain 6IV and or shiny Pokemon. Case in point, you can't actually test every single seed. It's impossible. And if one of your variables happens to be a randomly generated value, there is the possibility that the value that causes the problem will never get tested at all. However, once you distribute the program to millions of people in different parts of the world, on different types of computers, and all playing the game at different times, the number of calculations done and values that are variables increase tremendously. It is much more likely that the value that's causing the problem is actually going to end up being the input to a variable, and the problem will just suddenly appear out of nowhere. Especially considering that the calculations that determine the random values involve modulos, which is what's left over when you divide whole numbers. So that explains why some of these glitches completely seem to appear out of nowhere. However, that still doesn't address the problem when I hear people say, why is it taking so long to fix this thing? Well, I can tell you from experience that there have been countless times where I have sat down at my computer thinking, okay, this should only take 30 minutes, and 5 hours later, I'm pulling my hair out because I've made absolutely no progress at all. It happens a lot of time when you're programming. Stuff that you think will take 10 minutes ends up taking 10 hours. And that's because you tried to fix the problem and it causes a new problem. And then you try to fix it again and it still won't work. And you fix it again and now something else is broken. It just happens over and over again. It's just, oh my God. I hate debugging. I absolutely hate it. This is why I'm unemployed. There actually is a Barbie book called I Can Be a Computer Engineer, where she had a really big problem with her code and she had to ask one of her guy friends to fix it for her. And I'm just looking at this book like, you've got to be kidding me, Barbie. And then there's the thing that constantly happens to me. When everything looks good, it looks perfect, but you think, you know what, this would just be better with this one tweak, and then you tweak it, and then it causes the program to crash and not compile or just not work. And then you think, okay, this is wrong, and then you tweak something else, and then it keeps going and going and going until you wish that you just had left it alone, because now you can't get it back to the way it was, and the program's broken and you can't solve it. So yes, it takes time to fix these problems, especially if they don't even know what is causing the problem. So before you complain more about glitches that pop up out of nowhere and how long it takes to fix them, remember that the people developing these games are already under a tremendous amount of stress. They've got time constraints, they've got EA breathing down their back saying you better put something out by such and so date, and they have to deal with frustrations caused by programs that don't work on a seemingly random basis. No pun intended. But I do want to point out that these people are working hard to try and fix these problems. They do put out emergency patches as soon as they can. It just takes a long time because computers, well, they do exactly what you tell them to do and nothing else. So if you've made a mistake, then the program's not going to run the way it should. And trust me, I've had some instances of that myself. There was this one time when the program didn't work because the one variable I misspelled was the only one I actually spelled right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you left a like and or a comment. And please subscribe if you like this kind of video and you want to see more, or just more Sims content in general. Also, you can follow me on social media if you want to see behind the scenes, fun facts, or just randomly Sims related stuff, because apparently I have no life at all to post to Instagram. Then you can follow me on Instagram at VisitJoan. And if you want to see any Sims related stuff or my thoughts on things Sims related, you can follow me on Twitter at VisitJoan Videos. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video and get out of here. I will be seeing you in the next one. Bye!